Joe. Thank you for being here. Take it now from the top. No more talking.
Well, for me, it's a big pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to start this conversation about Cuban music, the Cuban composers. And I want to thank to my good friend Abraham for the invitation to give this conference to promote the music for my country, the composers. Um, I want to congrats to the team of Texas Guitar Society for the amazing work they are doing for the promotion of the classical guitar. For me, it's a big pleasure to be here. Then let's start to talk about Cuban music. Today we are going to talk about specific for guitar composers from Cuba. There is a lot of composers from Cuba, some amazing composer, but they never play the guitar, you know. And the guitar is an instrument that if you know how to play, you can write better for the guitar, you know better the instrument. For a lot of composers that don't know how to play the guitar, the instrument, sometimes they are scared with the instrument. I have spoke with some of the most important composers from Cuba, like Juan Piñera. Maybe you don't know about him, but he never write a piece for guitar because he's scared with the guitar. Then today we are going to concentrate in 10 or 9 composers that they used to play the guitar in concerts. Let's talk about his music, about his composition, because the majority of yours maybe know Leo Brouwer is the most famous composer from Cuba, but there is other very good composer that the world have to know. And some of them, they are famous in different countries, in Latin America too, but other and younger composers too that maybe people don't know that they exist. Then we're going to go chronologically from the oldest composers to the younger composers, okay? And feel free to ask me everything when I finish with any composers. You can feel free to ask me something about him, and we pass for other composers. You can ask me question at the end of all composers. When I finish with all composers, like you feel. Abraham, I'm going to share my screen, okay?
Yes, perfect.
Then let's start with this. Okay. The first composer that I want to present is Ñico Rojas. His name is Jose Antonio Rojas. Jose, we call Ñico, is the name that is known around the world. Ñico Rojas was born in 1921. He died at the end of 20th century. And I want to start with him because this year, 2021, we are celebrating the centenary of his birthday. Then I'm going to dedicate a little more time to him at the beginning, at the end, and pass for other composers very quickly to have a panoramic of this old composer. Well, starting by Ñico Rojas, I want to say that it's the only case of all the composers that I'm going to speak that he don't know how to write music. Ñico Rojas, he played like 60 songs, 60 original pieces for guitar, and he recorded 19 pieces. We saved this 19 pieces thanks to the recording because he never write his music. He was a genius. He was an engineer, hydraulic engineer, but he used to play guitar a lot. He made some composition songs and some guitar instrumental. He played very well the guitar. He has a big hand. And sometimes when you try to play his music, you're going to find very very extension, very big chords, like if you play Mangore music in some piece. Then, in the case of Ñico Rojas, let me put this away in my computer. In the case of Ñico Rojas, let's start listening one piece by the maestro, is playing the maestro Marco Tamayo. Oh, sorry for this. I want to try this. Okay, let's start. Let's see the composer Ñico Rojas playing one of his original compositions. I think I'm making a mistake with this link. Okay. Okay. Let me change. Okay, let's start with one of his most famous pieces, named Guajira a mi madre. Maybe some of you have heard this piece. Let's listen an interpretation by the Cuban guitarist René Izquierdo. Okay, and in this composition, that is one of his Ñico Rojas' more famous composition, Guajira Mi Madre, you can feel the traditional Cuban music, like very similar to salsa or more antique to the song music. Have you heard song? It's a antique danza from Cuba that a lot of people used to dance at the compass of the music. Then a lot of Cuban composer in his music have the influence of the Cuban song. Let's call salsa to be more comfortable with the name, because salsa and song is the same. The salsa is more modern, derivate from the song is a little more modern, and you can play a little more fast, but it's exactly the same rhythm. In the Guajira Mi Madre by Ñico Rojas, in the Guajira Mi Madre by Ñico Rojas, you can see the ring, the bass, this is like the ring of the song. Then I just want to let this clear that a lot of Cuban composers use the ring of the song in his music. And I'm going to show you other example. For example, in the case of, have you heard the Cuban band like Buena Vista Social Club, like maybe you know the name Compay Segundo, but
I am not very familiar with those bands.
yeah,
But Anush said that he has actually heard those before.
yeah. Let's listen, or let's see one of the, for example, one example of this in the original format. For example, this is the traditional song from Cuba, and some people dancing this kind of music in the tradition. You can feel here the bass tone. Tan, ton, tan, ton. That is the bass. You can hear the ring of the percussion, very important in this music. And of course the singer with the choice.
Is this
and the guitar
is this dance similar to the tango?
Is totally different in the rhythm. The tango is, this is more light than tango. Tango is it's more strong movement. But the salsa is more light, you know, it's more enjoy, drink a mojito. And they used to do a lot of this kind of spin when you dance in couple. The important here that you have to know is this music inspired a lot of Cuban composers to create instrumental music for guitar, like the case of Ñico Rojas. The music that you listened before, that is the most famous work by Ñico Rojas, Guajira Mi Madre, is inspired in this kind of music, no? Then Ñico Rojas, at the same time, Ñico Rojas, like I told before, she write like I was talking one time with his son, and he told me he used to play like 79 composition original, but he had all his music in his mind. He never write. He don't know how to write music. He don't know solfeo. Then one guy in Cuba record. You can find this record in format LP in YouTube or the recording. You can listen, play it by himself. There are like 19 original compositions by him. Okay. If you want to find the music by Ñico Rojas, I recommend you to. I was looking because it's difficult access to find his music because they print in Cuba like they print like 2 CDs in Cuba with his music, but it's very difficult. This is the first book with the music by Ñico Rojas. It's in addition, I think from the end of 80 years or beginning of 90 years. This was the first edition of his music. And my teacher from Cuba, Martin Pedreira, I studied with him in the University of Art in Cuba. He was the first guy in listen the CD that Ñico record and write in paper the music of Ñico Rojas. Then thanks to Martin Pedreira, we can now play the music by Ñico Rojas. This was the first book with the music. I think you can find in internet in PDF in some websites. Only you have to look for this, and you can find because it's like it was printed in Cuba. In that year, no, you cannot find how to buy this music in internet. Maybe I found in Amazon, but was out of stock and was the last edition. The most recent edition of the music by Ñico Rojas is this book. This book has the 19 original compositions that he recorded. There are 2 or 3 that have not been transcribed for the difficulty of the piece, but here this book is in Amazon, but now it's out of stock. Only you can find, I think, in Cuba at the moment, in the physical. Very difficult to find his music that I told you. Then there is a lot of artists that, especially Cuban players that have recorded the music of Ñico Rojas. One of the last CDs was with his music was by René Izquierdo, and was this. I can share with you. You can you can find in Amazon this CD, Cuba en el Alma. It's a CD with Cuban music by René Izquierdo, launched in July 21, very recently. You can find a lot of music from different Cuban composers, including this piece, Jazmín en mi casa. Jazmín is the name of the floor, is Jazmín in my house, but he used to say Jazmín to a neighborhood. It's a beautiful piece. You can hear you can feel this kind of emotion of the music, because in this case, this not come from the traditional song. This is more like if you sing a song, a bolero, we call bolero. It's Ñico Rojas had the influence of a movement that born in Cuba that named the feeling, come from the feeling, sentimiento, from the English word feeling. But this movement of feeling in Cuba tried to play and sing song without a metric specific. You can feel free to do anytime, stop, wait, enjoy the music, enjoy the chord, sorry, enjoy the chords. Has a big influence from the North American jazz, with a lot of chord of séptimas, 7 novenas, acordes de novena, disminuidos. You can hear in the music. This is other song by Ñico Rojas. You look, it's a little free. Beautiful chorus. Then this is, I recommend you to listen this CD, Cuba en el Alma, by René Izquierdo, but not only have music by Ñico Rojas, has other Cuban composers like Leo Brauer, the Black de Cameron, el de Cameron Negro. This is other Carlos Fariña, non-guitarist composer. Other traditional Cuban composers. Then, for example, we have this CD that I recommend too much too, by Marco Tamayo, the virtuoso Cuban virtuoso Marco Tamayo. Guitar music from Cuba is a Naxos recording. And you have a lot of versions of other Cuban music composers. And this, for example, is by Ñico Rojas too, Guyun, El Maestro. Guyun was another composer from Cuba, guitar player that was in the movement of the feeling in Cuba. You can feel always this kind of chord of, it's not the normal major and minor chord. They use always 7, novena, 9. Here he recorded, Marco Tamayo recorded Guajira Mi Madre, was the piece that we listen by. This is the song. Pam, pam, pam. You can dance with that music if you want. This is other piece by Ñico Rojas, Lilian. He used to put name of his family to the composition. This is dedicated to his daughter, Lilian. Francisco y Alfonsito are other family members. This is a sad song, Lilian, because he had, I think, 3 sons, and the girl Lilian died she was sick and died very younger, and this is one of the most sad songs that he had. At the same time, it's a beautiful song, and Leo Brauer take that song and make an arrangement for guitar and orchestra of this song, Lilian. Let's hear it. In this, what did you listen, Lilian, better? because it's a beautiful song. This is his other CD by Joaquin Clerc. Joaquin Clerc also dedicated this CD with the title of the CD is Guajira Mi Madre, by the piece by Ñico Rojas, and it's Cuban music for solo guitar, all these different Cuban composer. I recommend you that this CD too. And let's listen the song Lilian. Well, it's for not lose too much time. You can listen later, complete the song, but you can listen that it's a beautiful music, very inspired, very sentimental for the loss of his daughter. But at the same time, I was one time in a conversation with his wife, and you know, every time that they remember his daughter, and that song is very sad moment, but at the same time, they enjoy the music. It was a very sad experience. Then now let's pass. Now you know a little about Ñico Rojas, where to find some recording. I recommend you. There is a CD by the composer is in the chat with us here, Freddy Perez. The CD we are going to see later, but I recommend you to listen the piece that Freddy played by Ñico Rojas in his CD. We are going to see it later when we speak about Freddy Perez. Then let's pass for the next composer. We are going to moving more fast now with the other composer because for the time, and I want to dedicate more space for Ñico in his centenary. If you want some question about his music, we can continue. Next composer, well, the well-known Leo Brouwer. He was born in 1939, and he's live now with us. The incredible Leo Brouwer. Well, what I want to, I can say a lot of things by Leo Brouwer, but I think that maybe you know a lot of this composer, a lot about this composer. I want to concentrate very fast in 3 different kind of composition of the master Leo Brouwer, inspired in different aspects, specific aspects. The first aspect is, let's see, an element very strong in his music that is the traditional Cuban music, but is not the traditional Cuban like song, like salsa. It's other tradition from Cuba that come from Africa, that the Spanish conquer, bring from Africa when they come to Cuba with the slave, the Afro-American or the Afro music, you know, that in a mix with the Cuban music, we say the Afro-Cuban music sometimes. But let's hear one piece by the master Leo Brouwer with this kind of elements of the folklore, Afro folklore, you know? Let's listen this. This is the danza de los ancestros. Ancestor is like an older dance. The interpreter from Londres, Andrea Lebedev. In a lot of pieces, Leo Brouwer starts with a recreation, with some notes, with some melodies, some minimalist aspect that later he developed during the piece. It's like introduction. I start the rhythm, the strong rhythm. The dance. Okay, in this piece, it's very important. Leo Brouwer has influence of not only the Afro music that I'm going to show you now, but he has influence from by Stravinsky music, Chord, and Leo Brouwer, in a lot of occasions, he has said that one of his favorite composers is Stravinsky, and you can hear in a lot of songs the strong moment, like you hear the Race of the String by Stravinsky with the orchestra. It's an amazing piece. This, for example, this is tan 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 tan. It's a phrase that he used in a lot of his compositions. You can hear in concert by guitar and orchestra by Leo Brouwer. Well, one of the elements that have the influence that Leo is influencing that I told you is the Cuban folklore, but the Cuban folklore that come from this kind of dance I'm going to show you now. Because a lot of time I have been in conversation with musicians that like Leo Brouwer music, and this kind of rhythm, this kind of dance that exists in Cuba, people don't know, foreign people don't know this kind of music, because this is not too commercial. This is not a commercial music like the song, like the salsa. This is a music that comes from Africa, the influence from the African music that bring the Spanish in 1492 when they conquered Cuba, and they discovered Cuba in 1492, a lot of years ago. And when the Spanish come with the slave to Cuba, there was a mix between the slave and the people that live in Cuba, saying Spanish, the Cubans, to after the years, this was a music that first start with the slave playing himself with their friends, but after that, now in this time in Cuba, there are different kind of religions. This is the Catholic religion, for example, I don't know, Baptist religion, a lot of different religions, but this is a specific religion that come from Africa. People in some rituals at homes, people that believe in this kind of tradition, in these religions, they used to do some activities, some festivity activities to celebrate the day of the Santo, the day of the God. They play this kind of music at homes in Cuba. And they dance too. You can see here the percussion instruments that come from Africa. As you say, if you are not familiar with this kind of music, sometimes you're going to lose the elements in the Leo Brouwer music, because Leo Brouwer music is a music with a strong presence of the ring, of this ring of the tambores, this kind of tambores you call bata, are different, one more high, one more down, with some more down. And Leo Brouwer put this kind of ring in the music. Then you can feel, for example, in the sonata by Leo Brouwer third movement, but more fast. In a lot of pieces, you can find this kind of rhythm. Or sometimes it's not exactly the rhythm, but Leo takes some elements from the rhythm, from the percussion, and from the voice that are singing. Can you hear? And Leo used this element to singing with the guitar in some moment of his piece. That motif that we hear with the Danza de los Ancestros that play André Lebede, ta ta ta, is a music that people sing. Then I want to show you this because some people maybe don't imagine that this kind of music exists, because like it's not a commercial music. You only can hear this music if you go to Cuba, if you go to maybe Miami, United States. There is a lot of Cuban, they practice this tradition too. I found a video on YouTube that was in this kind of activity, religious in Cuba, for example. Let's listen very quickly. Other kind of this ring, for example. All this music, like you can see, this comes from Africa with the instrument, and they mix with the Cuban culture. Then this is one of the aspects by Leo Brouwer music that I want to share with you. The other music by Brouwer that have an important presence is, you know, the cinema, the music that he composed for films, for film films. I think he write like 200 pieces for different movies, for different documental films by the Cuban films, the majority. You can, let's hear one of the most famous composition by Brouwer. Let's see. This is the famous song One Day of November, Un Día de Noviembre. This song, this composition by Leo Brouwer, that I know that maybe all you know, no? This famous song by Brouwer come from this movie specifically. This is a movie from 1971, and you see in black and white film. I recommend you listen the music of this film. It's a beautiful music. I think one of the most beautiful music that I have here in Yesun. With the orchestra, for example. Listen to the music. Well, this is beautiful music. It's like have like a counterpoint like back to and it's beautiful with the violin. You have to listen later with more calm. And here you can see the.
Será distinto, claro, porque ya no tendremos.
This is all music by Brouwer. Let's see.
Ay, señor.
Where is the? I was trying.
Pilar tabaco. Facción
I lost now where is the?
Dijo, bueno, a conseguir la.
Ese que va por ahí es un héroe, porque perdí un brazo, me batí con los bandidos y nada de eso. Me gusta que digan, ese que va ahí es un huevo.
This is the original Un Día de Noviembre. The piece One Day of November was original composed for guitar and flute, and this is the original. After the movie, Leo Brouwer made the version for solo guitar.
Tenía una lucha constante con el almanaque. Entonces parece que para sentirse más joven invitaba a un grupo de muchachos a su casa. Nos reuníamos allí a conversar. Un verano cambió todo. Ya aquellos jóvenes habían dejado de ser niños por completo y las reuniones eran de conspiración contra la dictadura. Todo al margen de tía Emilia, claro.
Well, was a short about the incidental music by Leo Brouwer. We call it in Spanish música incidental, music for cinema, music for movies. And I want to show you this because this is maybe the most famous work by Brower, Un Día de Noviembre, that a lot of people play and come from here, no? And other, the other aspect by Leo Brower music, he writes some piece with the Latin American styles that I like a lot. For example, this is one played by Leo Brower himself. Abraham here is playing with the Simplicio guitar, Francisco Simplicio guitar from 1926. It's brother with the Simplicio that I had, is same guitar that I tell one time to Abraham. Now let's listen the Leo Brower playing his music, but this is an arrange or a version of an original composition of with the influence of the music from Andes, from Altiplano, Latin American. This is the traditional music from Los Andes, from Latin America. Leon recreating this version, like he have a beautiful version too from the Argentine tango La Muerte del Ángel by Piazzolla that I love this music. And Brower have other music in the style of traditional Cuban music, like song. And I want to show you one of his most recently composition is this. If you can hear, this is motive of song. This is one composition he finished recently in March, past month. It was commissioned by the Guitar Festival of Petrer in Spain, an homage to José Tomás Abraham. This is an homage for José Tomás, a famous teacher from Spain. For example, this piece have the traditional style like the salsa. I call salsa, but really it's song. But I call salsa for people understand better where it comes from. It's similar to the salsa, the song music that I told. Then this is three moments that I want to share you about Cuban music Brower. I think the majority of his music in the style of, Stravinsky, in the style of his own style, is Leo Brower style, but in the Afro, when he take elements from the Afro music, that this only exists maybe in Cuba. You can find the influence of the Afro descendant in Brazil a lot, in Venezuela, in some Latin American countries, and Haiti, for example, too. But there are from different countries from Africa. They are not the same music in the same continent of Africa. You can say from Nigeria, from Angola, from the Congo, from different countries. They have different kind of rhythm. Then this different rhythm was disseminated from all the continent, from all Latin American. Then in Cuba you have one specific rhythm. In other countries you have other. They come all from Africa, but are not similar. That's why you can find only this kind of rhythm in Cuba, for example. And it's very rarely to find. If you want to see, if you go to Cuba. Then, well, I think music by Leo Brauer you can find anywhere, but the most important now collection with music and with recently music by Leo Brauer, you can find in his own edition with his own name, that is Espiral Eterna Edition, Ediciones Espiral Eterna. You can find in internet, this is the website, Ediciones Espiral Eterna. This is the name of his own editorial. Is this editorial that I showed you here? They are launching a lot of beautiful design of the music. This is other composition. This is from, I think, 2007. But look the design they are changing. Very beautiful painting. This is a new edition of One Day of November that have some different change that Leo Brauer do when he do this is not so new. This is from, I think, from he have like 8 years maybe, but it's not the One Day of November that he do in 20th century. Okay, for example, they have 3 new studies by Leo Brauer. You know the famous studies by Leo Brauer, the 10 studio sencillo simple studies that like 10 or 20, and later he write 10 more. In total are 30 studies, but he write 3 new studies very recently, and now the total studies by Leo Brauer are 33. Okay, and this is the last edition of the three new studies. I recommend you, just for finish with Leo Brauer, because it's a composer very important. I think it's the most important composer from Cuba. Recommend you to play the Black Decameron, El Decameron Negro. This is the last edition too from the editorial, because this is a special edition. He add to the Decameron, the original Decameron used to have 3 parts, 3 movements. In this new edition, he has the 3 movements, but he add an introduction to each movement. Then they have new introduction, because this year we celebrate 40th anniversary of this composition, the Black Decameron. 40 años, Freddy, de Decameron Negro, 40 years. And they launched this new edition of the Decameron with new introductions that Leo Brauer write for the occasion. Okay, then finish with Brauer. Let's pass to, in my opinion, the second most famous composer, guitar composer from Cuba, that is this guy, Eduardo Martín. Eduardo Martín, a little more younger like Brauer. He was born 1956. He wrote a lot of pieces for guitar. I love the music by Eduardo Martín. If you are not familiarized with him, let's listen his music. He has a lot of music for solo guitar, duetos, guitar trio, guitar quartet. The Texas, the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet, LA Guitar Quartet, recorded CD with one of his quartet for guitar. It's very beautiful music. Eduardo Martín has been in tour in a lot of countries. United States, he was in tour sometimes. He used to play duetos with his daughter, that she played guitar, very beautiful too. And I think it's important to say that a lot of Cuban composers or guitarist composers are not active now. For example, Leo Brauer don't play guitar since, I think, his last concert was at the at the end of 80 years, 1986, 1988, because he had a problem with a finger in a tour in New York. But Eduardo Martin, for example, he continues playing, he passed all his life playing his own music, and now he's playing concert with his music with other musicians. Let's listen now one composition by Eduardo Martin in the style of song music. Remember that he had some influence too from the Cuban salsa or song.
Sé que ibas a ver un vídeo, pero me vas a dar
Oh,
las gracias
this
por ver
guy
este vídeo primero, ¿sabes por qué?
is an
Porque llega
announcement.
por primera vez uno de los...
Goodbye, my friend. Okay. Let's listen in the interpretation of René Izquierdo, Son del Barrio. Barrio is like a tone, and son, the style. This is a beautiful music in the style of Cuban song. It's not so like too contemporary like Brower. It's more on the style of Ñico Rojas. You can feel the rhythm, the Cuban rhythm. If you put a percussion, you can play, you can dance this music too. So the percussion, the bass. It's a music that if you play, you enjoy a lot playing this kind of music. Look, René, the face of René playing this, how he enjoy, how much he enjoyed this. When I play this kind of music, it's Cuba in service. Are you feeling the Cuba in the music? Okay, let's listen now other composition by Eduardo Martin. But now for guitar dueto. I recommend you to, because the music by Eduardo Martin, you can find a lot of his music in the internet. It's not like Ñico Rojas. Ñico Rojas, very difficult to find his music. By Eduardo Martin, you can find a lot of websites where they sell his music, websites that sell his music. For example, in this composition, his most famous, I think, dueto for guitar, naming Hasta Alicia Baila, until Alicia dance. He is going to use the Afro music a little, you know. It's guys, this is not song, this is rumba. We call rumba. So the tambor, tac 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 tac, Cuban guaguancó clave, pa 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 pa. May I stop here and you can listen here. This guy is Ahmed Dickinson, a Cuban player, fantastic Cuban player. He lives in London. He used to play a lot of Cuban composition music. He recorded music by Eduardo Martin. He was the second person that transcript music by Ñico Rojas. He has one in this book that I told you at the beginning. There are some transcription by Ahmed Dickinson in this book. And you can find in the Ahmed Dickinson website, he sells a new transcription by Ñico Rojas and Cuban music too. I'm going to share you maybe later his website. Then in this composition, very fast, Eduardo Martin, the composer, is playing with the guitar, with chords, the clave cubana. The clave cubana we call an instrument is like two sticks that a little big. You play like pa 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 ta 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 ta. It's a percussion instrument that they use always. But this riff that Leo Brauer used in his music too in some moments, now you can see Eduardo Martin doing with the guitar. Look his right hand. Ta 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 ta. And the other guy with the guitar is like singing with the guitar. He's singing like when you are in Cuba in a home playing this music. The person that I play in they can la 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 ta 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 la 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 la. It's this kind of effect that now they are doing with the guitars. La 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 la. Now they start to make improvisation of that. I recommend you go more later and see more of his music. Well, that is a little bit about Eduardo Martin. You can find his music in internet very easy. You can listen a lot of video. If you put Eduardo Martin in YouTube, a lot of video with his music. For example, you are going to see a lot of person playing his music in duetos, solo Canción de December by Eduardo Martin. He has a lot of composition by guitar. He have let's say he has like a suite, but it's not a suite, it's a piece for each month, January, February, March, 12 pieces dedicated of any month, that are beautiful composition. For example, this is beautiful. I don't know this, but let's put very quickly. Oh, this is promotion here, and let's see. This is beautiful music by Eduardo Martin. And it's not difficult to play. This is very, very easy to play. That is a little bit about Eduardo Martin, and let's go with another composer. And next composer is one of the best virtuoso from Cuba, Joaquin Clerch. Joaquin Clerch.
My good friend, why don't we, for the sake of time, go directly with Freddy Antonio?
You wanna go now?
Yeah, because we're running a little bit to the end of the meeting today.
Okay, let's go with Freddy then. I recommend other time see Joaquin Clerch. Let's pass with Freddy Perez. He is with us. It's an honor had him with us in the chat. He's another Cuban composer that maybe a lot of people don't know about him. Freddy Perez, when I discovered him in Cuba, I saw in a concert in live, I say, wow, what is this? Because he played fantastic and he had beautiful arrangement and original composition of Cuban music. For example, let's listen one piece by Freddie playing. Oh, what's here? Okay. Wait a second. This is an original composition by him, named Song. You can say that again, song here. You can hear, listening this kind of music. This come from the traditional Cuban music, and Freddie is a master doing ornaments inside between chords. I want to show you one of his arrangements of a traditional Cuban music. That this is, for example, the Paralítico. I love this piece. I'm going to go. I want to go a little more fast here. Listen this. The song. Bum, 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 bum. Well, this is you can see the amazing Freddie with a very rhythmical coordination, because doing the bass here with the line here with the ring with the percussion, all this is very difficult to do when you try to do first time. You have to study very slow every part for coordinate very well the ring in this piece. This is, for example, an arrangement of I'm going to show you the original piece that Freddie Bass he take to do this arrangement is
Por aquí estamos rápidamente en la web. En primer lugar, bueno,
you're going to listen the same melody.
Paralítico y me dijo un hombre
You can feel the bass. This instrument that you see here is that I told you before, the clave cubana, the ta 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 ta. In the rumba they play 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 in the song of Eduardo Martín, but in the song Cuban they play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's almost the same, but with different accentuation. But here is doing a.
20 años en mi término.
This is the piece by composers take from this, no, from elements from the traditional Cuban music like this, and made a version or original composition in this kind of style, like Ñico Rojas, Eduardo Martín, like Saint Freddie. I recommend you an album by Freddie named Son Interrumpido. You can find in Spotify, and you can find too in the web. Maybe Son Interrumpido. This is a beautiful song. This is the title of the CD. This song, this original song by Freddie. And I recommend you to listen Freddie in this CD, playing his own arrangement and his original compositions. Abraham, ¿cómo vamos?
I think it's time for us to open up some of the questions.
Yeah.
If anybody has some questions, and of course we can invite you back for you to keep inspiring us and keep giving us all this music.
Let me only present this composer, maybe only show the name. Ali Arango is a younger composer that has winner the most important competition in Spain, like Andrés Segovia, like Francisco Tárrega competition, and Alhambra competition. He has beautiful compositions too. You can find it in his website. Any other opportunity, we can speak more about the new generation. Kiko Faxas, and I have some here that I want to present here. I have some compositions on that I would like to show you maybe another day. This is, for example, Ariadnis Mariño, a ladies girl composer that has beautiful compositions too for guitar, for solo guitar. You think we can move in a video very quickly, Abraham?
Yes, my friend. Absolutely.
For example, let's listen very fast. One example by Ariadnes Mariño. Okay. She's based now in Miami. She's in New York Guitar Festival. You know this guy, he won GFA. They are playing a composition by Ariadnes Mariño. She has 5 duets for guitars, and this is one of the 5. This is naming parentheses. This is fast going for these younger composers. Let's see very fast one composition by Ali Arango that I like. The younger Ali, he has a very strong.
Es un software de gestión en la nube.
He said Ali Arango has a very strong presence in internet. You can check his website. He sells his music in his website. He has also beautiful videos too. You can check. Here he is playing, he's influenced by Leo Braue. Piezas is a piece named Piece Without Title. Piezas sin título número 1. He make like a version, but the majority of the younger composers, I think, have a very strong influence by Leo Brauer, and you can see in a lot of his music, in a lot of his composition. Let me show you very fast. This composition. See. Let's wait a second. Holy. Abraham, if you want to do some questions.
Yes, one of the question was if you can share with us the YouTube links that you were putting on the screen so we can later continue our research. So if you can probably just share with me the YouTube videos, I can send it to
yes, of course. Of course, that I can share any with you. If you need Cuban music, if you need, we can speak with the composer. We can contact the composer. We can any that you need links of the CD, of the videos. Okay, it's no problem.
Yes.
I want to share you, yeah, for last, one of my original composition. I was premiering in a festival in China. This is a romantic preludio with tremolo. Abraham.
Yes, my friend.
It is dedicated to our friend Nanai Fujiwara from Japan. Okay, very fast only. Then my friends, it was a panoramic about the principal composers. I cannot say, like I told you at the beginning, all these composers that we analyze today, all they play the guitars. There are other composers that they have write music for guitar, but they don't play the guitar. They have beautiful music too, but we want to dedicate to this occasion for the guitar composers, no, from Cuba, guitar player and composers at the same time. And a special celebration of the centenary by Ñico Rojas. Then to finish, is any question, my friend?
I think it will be very interesting if you give us a part 2 of this topic, because we stopped pretty much at half of the composers that you had, and it's very interesting because for you, the Cuban rhythms and the difference between salsa and all the styles that you were talking are natural for you. You are like, okay, this is a rhythm for one, and then you change the accents on the other ones. But I had no idea. I mean, I had no idea how a minimum accent will influence a different style of music. And it's very interesting to see how those rhythms are used by composers in their music. So I am sure that the members are going to enjoy a second talk of your music, if you would like to finish, because I would like you to have the space for you to continue.
Yeah, of course, we can finish with other mention of composer that we missed today, and talk a little about others that are not guitar players, but they have a very beautiful music too for guitar, and dedicate other conference to this composer and that we missed. The other that we missed.
So I wanted to share with everybody, if you allowed me, that you are the artistic director, officially the artistic director of the first festival and international competition of Texas Guitar Society that is going to happen in November. And all of the creative areas and all of the selection of concerts and musics and judges is going to be under your supervision, and we're very happy to have you in the team.
I'm very happy that you trust in me for this charge, and I'm going to do my best for organize with all the team an amazing festival.
It's going to be very fun. I am very, very sure. What time is it in Alicante right now? Just so people realize.
Well, I think this is for the classical guitar. I am here. It's 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Oh my goodness.
We start at 2:30, and I want to kill Abraham, but I drink a coffee, I sleep in the afternoon, and now I'm very happy to be here with all yours. And I'm very happy that people know more about Cuban composer and Cuban music, because I think that there are a lot of composers and a lot of good music that people don't know. Because, it is sometimes about promotion. I think the promotion is the most important. There are composers that are more, trying to make promotion and this, but others not. Sometimes others are comfortable in his life, in his home, playing the guitar, but don't want to make promotion. I think the most important And now with the social media, with internet, we have the opportunity to show the work of this great music.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. There is one more question in the chat, and it says, Joe, is it possible these days to travel to Cuba? Do you know, from the United States?
Well, I think it depends of your status. If you are North American, you know, Cuba and United States, they don't have diplomatic relation now. And you cannot travel if you are North American citizen to Cuba. You only can travel if you go to, for I don't think they have some aspect cultural interchange for some specific, but not only for tourists, you cannot go.
Okay.
You need some, you need maybe reglamentar and try to do some maybe social interchange, cultural, something like that. I think so.
We have some other comments saying we really appreciate you taking the time to share with us, even this late for the evening. Excellent presentation. So
thank you, my
we
friend.
have a lot of appreciation for you, Joe. Thank you everybody. We now have the strings available for purchase on the website. Please join us, start buying your strings with us, because it really helps for us to pay the guests. And we have our first concert, paid concert, that we were able to sell to the city of Keller, coming up this Saturday, April 17 at noon,
Gracias, Freddy.
time of Texas.
I don't know if Abraham had announced this already, but we got a new shipment of new strings. We got some Augustines that are coming up for sale pretty soon. We got a pretty big variety, from Imperial to Rigo Blue to Rigo Red, Paragon. We're getting a pretty good variety here, so just stay tuned for those coming on sale pretty soon.
Yes, so we are slowly growing, but surely. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Joe, again. You have no idea how much this means to me, man. I really appreciate that you stay up.
Thank you, man, for all. I think this is very important. I think I love the work that you guys are doing for the guitar. This is very important for the community, for joining all community, and thanks to you too.
All right, my friend. See you next Monday. See you Saturday, everybody, and see you next Monday. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.